Our vibe. Our tribe.
This is LADZ City Radio.
With Crypto Buffalo.
We got an amazing artist that we're going to be bringing up here right now on LADZ City Radio. He is actually our neighbor in CryptoVoxels as well. He was featured on NFT Live a little bit today as I walked over and checked out his new place that he built yesterday in the span of a couple hours. The man is amazing. He has an amazing story where he makes meals into his face masks and then eats them off his face. I cannot wait to talk to the one and only Foodmasku.
Hey, how you doing?
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for coming on. And again, it is such a pleasure to already know one of our neighbors in CryptoVoxels. Man, you work fast. That was amazing yesterday. Congratulations on your build.
Oh, thanks so much. I just felt like I needed to build something, and it was raining and there were, all these floods going on in New York, so I couldn't even get on the subway. So I stayed at home and I built myself a library.
You did indeed, and I love your collection. We were showcasing it on NFT Live today. If you guys missed it, definitely check it out at the LADZ City YouTube page. You definitely have a very diverse group of NFTs. How long have you been in crypto?
I think since the end of March, so...
Wow. Move fast.
4 months.
All right. What got you in? What brought you in here?
Well, I was actually doing my series where I make face masks out of food. And then I noticed that somebody was actually posting my stuff on TikTok without my permission. And then I was reading up on NFTs with people, releasing in December. And the thing that brought me into it was, so it's on the blockchain and it's going to be connected to my name in perpetuity. So I might as well mint something. I got invited to Foundation just out of the blue, and I minted my first piece and it sold the next day. So I just kept going.
So we got to talk about this. How did this get started for you where you make a food mask and then eat it off of your face?
It started during the pandemic we're still in a pandemic. I'm in New York City, and I was supposed to go back to Indonesia to finish a grant that's related to my work as a Fulbright scholar there. But then everything went into lockdown, so I got stuck here in New York, which isn't so bad, but it was a really hard time here. And one of the things was a lack of face masks. So I couldn't even go in the store, to get a face mask. So I had to start sewing them. I took out my sewing machine and started sewing with this PPE collective. And then one of the Zoom calls during the meetings we were having, somebody left on a face filter that looked like a pickle, and I put up a piece of kale on my face, and I think I heard laughter for the first time in a month. And I just started doing it every single day, and I posted it on Instagram. My Instagram went from nothing to 10,000 followers, and it just exploded after I got featured in the New York Times.
Wow,
I love that story. That's amazing, man.
So can you
Thanks. And I get to eat the food, so,
right?
It's a really good medium to use.
It's a win-win. What's some of your favorite masks that you've made and eaten?
I think maybe I like the breads the most because they're really easy. So anything bread, I had to make sourdough. That was really difficult, actually. But afterwards, I just felt so completely in this state of bliss, because I created this thing from scratch, Yeah. I like anything avocado related. They make really good glasses.
Are you cooking and making this food, or are you typically going out to restaurants or spots around town and grabbing entrees that are already made by somebody else at restaurants or whatever?
They're actually depending on the series. The first series of food masks were 90 days in quarantine. So I could only make the food that was available to me in the groceries around my area, which wasn't much at the time. And I was also getting dropped groceries from this collective that I was in, this, really kind group of people that was just helping people out with groceries because I couldn't go out because of my immunodeficiency. So I also started a new series recently where I do go to the restaurants because I'm now fully vaccinated, and I make the face masks outside of the restaurants after taking takeout. So it's called outdoor dining, and it's still going, and I'm going to make 88 of those.
So I'm curious with your build that you're doing in the CryptoVoxels next to us, what's your kind of vision for that?
Yeah, I'm envisioning some sort of library. I haven't had the time to actually make books or a bookcase, so it's kind of a library without any books. But it's actually partly modeled from a library near where I went to college, and It's called the W.E.B. Du Bois Library. It's the tallest building in Amherst, Massachusetts. And I love the irony of that building because the architects built that without thinking about the heaviness of books. So when they started putting in books into that library, bricks started shooting out from the facade and almost killing people. So they had to put like a gigantic fence around it and surrounding it so people don't get hit by like these flying bricks coming out of the library because you can't hold any books.
That's that's a little scary. And I'm reading on your profile here. It says you're a gun violence survivor, and I don't want to go too deep on that if you don't want to. But can you tell us what man you are today from having an experience like that?
I can totally talk about it.
Okay.
So I'll give a content warning because I'm going to talk about violence and recovery and trauma. But I was walking down the street and I was walking towards the subway about to help my friend move. It was the 5th of July, 2013. And suddenly this man started shooting at a pregnant woman in front of me. And she was hit twice in the leg, so she fell. And the bullet that would have hit her head hit me in the chest. So I went into a 5-day coma. And I woke up and I got to tell you, I was the happiest person in the world because I woke up, right? And I was also very angry and very sad and very miserable and a lot of pain. So my friends, were asking me, like, what do you want to do? Do you want to, do you want something? Do you want anything? So I told them the first thing I wanted was a camera that I can take selfies with. So I started this series called How to Survive a Gunshot to the Gut. And I took photos of my scars every single day from the day I was released from the hospital until the day of my shooter's trial. And that series was the first of this kind of exploration into trauma, which I also believe the Foodmasks to be, right? So it's in the same vein. And that has been, premiered in a lot of places. I got to be in the Rolling Stone shirtless because of it. So I'm excited about that.
You have really embraced that. You seem like you have such a optimistic and positive kind of state now about that. Do you have any? Did anything happen in your? Like, I've never met somebody who's been in shot, first of all, or been in a coma. Like, what was that like in the sense? Was there any memories that come in? Did you have any kind of crazy dreams or anything, or is it literally you were walking and then boom, you're in a hospital? Like, is there any connection there that comes back to you at all?
I was on a lot of morphine, so I had a lot of morphine dreams. And I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but I do have PTSD now from the experience, but it's not something that I can really explain very well. Have you guys played The Last of Us 2?
I have not. I don't do many video games. Life in crypto moves so fast, I don't have time for video games, but I know a lot of people do. How about you, Buffalo?
I have heard of the game, and I'm pretty sure some lads listening have, so go ahead and explain that a little bit if you can, Foodmasku.
Well, I actually haven't played it, but I watch people play it on Twitch, which is really funny because it's actually a really fun game to look at, but I just don't have time to play. But I think that game series explains trauma and PTSD very well because like this character has to go around and kill a bunch of people, and in the end, all these like memories flood back to her and very random moments. Like I think she was tending to some sheep.
Before the incident, what was going on that day? Did you have any sense that something was happening? I've always heard, stories when people have something dramatic happen that they had a feeling that day something was off. Did you have any inkling that this was going to happen, or was it just one of those moments, wrong place, wrong time?
No, not really. I mean, it was the 5th of July, the day after the 4th of July. So all I remember doing was like waking up really late because I was really hungover. And, I got a text from this person who I made out the night before, who I had never met before. And, I actually stood them up because of the coma. So I had to like text them like maybe a week later being like, hey, I'm so sorry I never made it to our date, but I got shot.
Yeah, it's pretty good excuse. So Savage was going to ask, we're curious about your choice in your CryptoVoxels asset or your location there. What made you choose that spot?
Things were starting to sell out, and I knew I wanted a really tall location, and that was one of the tallest that I could find. And I remember also Tigbo was there, and I talked to Tigbo, and I was like, oh, cool, he'll be my neighbor, and like he showed me the LADZ space, and I thought, okay, well, if I know my neighbors, it'll be really nice.
Right.
And I knew it was one of the like Satoshi spots that I really wanted. So I, spent all my ETH on it, and I did it.
I'm so glad you did, man. Right away, I was like so super excited when I remember. I think I was next to Tigbo, and you're like, "I'm gonna get this," and then we flew away. I came back a little bit later. Boom, you've already got the walls up. And then we did Easy Street yesterday, which is a show here on LADZ City. And then I ended up coming back just to check in, see what was going on, and boom, you already had the library in the works, man. So you definitely moved fast. I love how you embrace your creative spirit. There's that saying, you've gone through some hell, but man, it's like good news, bad news, who knows? People look at that and go, that's terrible. That was so bad. And in a sense, it could be a blessing for you because now you've been able to embrace such a creative spirit. I can just hear it in your voice, man, that you're really just doing what you love. I see here that you're an advocate of the Pride NFT. And for any lads here, could you go ahead and explain what that project is all about?
Nifty Pride, I mean, they had like an auction, and we ended up raising a whole bunch of ETH for a nonprofit that supports trans people in the Eastern Massachusetts area.
Awesome.
I also did my own separate collectible collection with Foodmasku. I created these crayons, and they are you can wear them in CryptoVoxels, for example, and you can also turn them into styli if you'd like. And we raised a bunch of fees for Trans Lifeline, which is a nonprofit organization that helps with people who are in need of things like mental health services, so they can call in on this phone line. They also help with some grants for people who may need to change their names legally, for example. So it was a great experience, and I can't wait to keep doing that. So I think one of the greatest things about my NFT experience, I devote always 20% of my profits to a nonprofit or a charity of some sort. And to be able to do that, which I hadn't been able to do before, this feels very empowering.
Mm-hmm. I love that, man. I'm very curious to see when I bump into you now across the street, as you're over at your spot in CryptoVoxels. Do you have, I've noticed one, I think it was, I don't know if there's French fries that you had in front of your face yesterday. Do you have a lot of different costumes designed already for your avatar?
No, I don't, because they actually paused collection building, which is kind of sad because that's one of the things I was so excited about. But yeah, I definitely want to work on a bunch of those things. I have a bunch of collabs coming out, one of whom with a person who is a big face filter creator. I also am about to work with the Processing Foundation. So Processing Foundation, we have this software that basically teaches you how to code without learning how to code. And you can just make a really cool 3D graphic or interactive NFT. And I'll be working with the guy who blows up balloons with knives. You know what I mean? He's famous on Instagram as well.
Wait, does that mean that you're going to be producing or putting out NFTs with Foodmasks or along the line of your art there? So like we could run around inside CryptoVoxels with an epic food mask?
I'd like to. I mean, all of you could do it anyway right now. Just put on a donut on your face. But yeah, I'd like to make official Foodmasku CryptoVoxels wearables. You've heard it here first.
Exactly.
Oh, man, it doesn't count if I put a donut on my face. I want one of yours.
Yeah, I want it official from Foodmasku.
We definitely have to... Yeah, we definitely have to get that worked out in the future, get something, a collab going so we can start supporting you, and maybe we can all run around in CryptoVoxels together with our epic food masks, man. That sounds super fun.
That would be super fun. As long as, you make sure you eat the masks afterwards.
Absolutely.
Of course. So I got to ask, is it Foodmasku? Is it Foodmasku? I always want to know how to pronounce usernames.
You got it correct, Foodmasku.
Awesome.
It's actually a pun in two languages. So food in English, and then mas in Indonesian or Javanese means brother. Ku means mine. So it means my brother's food. Or you could say food mask you. And I also have a small community of really awesome students who seem to think I know what I'm doing. So I have a fake university. And I actually gave Taylor a really high GPA. He has a 4.20. And he has a 6.9 GPA for all future classes because he bribed me with some WTF coins.
I didn't know you could get more than a 4.0. That's awesome.
You can do whatever you want. I mean, it's the new world, right?
Hey, well said, well said. Foodmasku, thank you so much for coming on to LADZ City Radio today. I'm going to be over at your plot all the time checking in, and I highly recommend any of you lads as well when you come on over to go across the street to his library and check out the work that he's done. Is any of that work that you're there in the library for sale?
A few of them are for sale. The big one is a collab I have with Camille, and I'm about to drop something really big as well, but I can't tell you.
Oh, I always get excited when somebody's like, I can't tell you, but it's coming. Just be prepared. So I'll be coming over every day asking you about it for sure. So thank you so much for coming on today, man. Anything else you'd like to say to lads before we let you go?
No, thanks for having me. And yeah, come on over to the library anytime you want. But if you do, you have to whisper because it's a library.
I respect that. I will respect that, sir. Take care, Foodmasku, and you have yourself a great rest of your day.
You too. Take care.
To hear more about LADZ City Radio and our special guests, just type LADZ.city on your browser. LADZ City Radio.
Our vibe, our tribe.